Moon Prayer Night might be over, but memories made at the festival will stay with us for a long time. While you couldn't skip any of the main attractions, I bet some of the finer details might have escaped your attention. But don't worry, I've documented them all and I'm going to share them with you. And if you aren't finished with the festival activities yourself, maybe you'll pick up some less obvious must-stops. To the left from the starting point, you can invite different guests to take a photo together. Traveler and Columbina thinks that their photo came out rather silly, while Lauma complains about being too horny. While Lauma complains about her uncomfortably large horn. The rhyme horn deer is just happy to be here. At this section of the festival, you can pick up a balloon to walk around with. Some longer dialogues will forcibly remove your balloon, but you can always come back and pick a new one. Since you are close to the headwear stand, don't forget to try all sets of animal ears. Which animal do these ears belong to? That's right, a black cat. Just like with the balloon, at some points in the festival activities, you might lose them. Don't panic, you can come back and use this opportunity to pick different ones. Wearing animal ears isn't necessary to be able to converse with fluffy visitors. In front of Aino and Inefa's stand, you can find a couple of sniffer moles, one of whom is going through a breakup, and the other is trying their best at consoling a friend. To the right of the headwear stand, Jade-Eyed Cat is annoyed at some puffins, who have the audacity to be noisy and block the view. Next to the puffins to the right, you can witness a cluster of moonglow fireflies rehearsing a dance. The group is clearly struggling with the beat, so prepare to help them out. Team up with Kuchenki on drums, and if you manage to correctly guide the hit on the last drum, you will be rewarded with a Mora box. In total, there are 7 of those to find at the festival. For the second one, visit Luba. She is using festival activities to conduct some research on her bots. Teach this primitive neural network to obtain the treasure 3 times, with the bots going faster each time. And another Mora box is yours. Speaking of minigames, you had to play 1 round of Alice Dodeco's adventure. But did you know that you could keep playing? First 2 extra rounds, each award you 1 Mora box. To the right of the witch's stand, you can play dice with visitors from Simulanka. These cute paper creatures completely scammed me out of the first place, but simply finishing the game is enough to win your 6 Mora box. For the last box, participate in a Pokemon-style battle. You won't have to try hard. Columbina is a kind of trainer to trust her team to win on their own, which leaves your poor child opponent devastated, but you slightly richer. Don't leave the battling section just yet. Neighboring opponents are stuck in a loop of building and shredding defense, preparing for a strike that never comes. What celebration would be complete without a customary wishing ritual? You witnessed Columbina and Lauma leaving wishes, but did you know that you could pick at the others? A wish for a race is easily traced back to Yagoda, and who would hope for an easier integration into human society other than Durin? Praying for others' safe travel is so selfless that it gets trickier to establish the ownership. Personally, I believe that Flint's is the most likely to have written something like that. Do you have a different theory? Please leave it in the comments. The last hopeful prayer belongs to Cantor, who have been pining for Lilac for quite a long time already. Speaking of which, young not yet couple is hanging right to the wishing spot, but the oblivious girl is much more interested in the passerby cat.
没有，我一直在看，妈。总比
Frankly speaking, who wouldn't be? Even Ashro, once the wisest cat in all Teyvat, is adorable for not being able to resist a good cup on the edge moment. You can repeat it as many times as you wish. Across Ashro, Inefa and Aino use the festival wisely and showcase their inventions. The robot show lasts for 10 minutes and just keeps on giving. Are you tired of your sprinkler short range? Not anymore. Clean Clack Kromkaki Craft Shop new product, Cool Your Jets Ducky 3000, is perfect for your garden. Watch, it fires powerful balls, leaving no spot dry. It can also clean tough to reach areas of the house, all for 2 payments of just 50 Mara. The next one is pretty familiar to you Knuckle Duckle, showcasing his powerful jump. The third one is a dessert-making robot, whipping a fresh batch of baked goods in a blink of an eye. The fourth one is a spy bot, built upon a cleaning unit. The old function is better staying forgotten, as a spinning circular saw may cause damage to the furniture. The fifth robot is a sorting bot, with a bad attitude. For the last showcase, Inefa presents herself, alongside Brigitte, but gets interrupted by Aino, who correctly notes that everyone is already familiar with them. If your time at the festival still feels too short, after you obtain a bag of personalized Moonprayer candy at the Nasha Town stall, you can revisit every character with a personal icon on the map and offer them some. If one of them hasn't spawned for you, you can play Alice's minigame to reset them up. Nefer notes that the candy was rare in her desert dwelling days, but now that it is abundant, she doesn't really care for it anymore. For Laoma, who is used to humbler meals, the candy tastes too sweet. Wanderer accepts one nonchalantly, and Warka is just happy to be included. Yagoda gets bamboozled with a terrible flavor, albeit she can't quite tell what it is exactly. Albedo, on the other hand, confidently tastes lemon. Marionette surprisingly likes her coffee-flavored candy. Dorian gets a piece of candy with an apple and butter taste, which reminds him of a concept of home. Flins understandably can't enjoy the candy at the moment, but hopes that he didn't get one-of-a-kind flavor. The knave asks for extra for the children. Dory immediately runs scenarios in which she can upsell the touched by a moon goddess candy. Aina eats too much at once, and the combined flavor doesn't live up to her expectations. Inefa dissects a piece of candy you give her, determines that additives don't compare to an inspiration, and gives you a real dessert in response. Traveler gets smetana flavor. I assume that it tastes more like a creamer rather than sour cream, and pushes Colombina to try it too, since the candy giver still hasn't tried one herself. Lastly, for the lore lovers, doing Narcissus and Croyd's world quest before this one gives you an extra conversation with Sandrone. She recognizes all the figures in the photo and has some thoughts about self-sacrifice after seeing a sword. Maybe this whole dialogue is ominous foreshadowing. I hope that you've enjoyed our time at the Moonprayer Night Festival. If you have found this video interesting, please leave me a like and consider subscribing to not miss the future content. I will see you soon. Bye bye!
这是我绝对不会做出的选择。不过，我都不知道他们还有那时的画片留下。